if you're having trouble doing an animation idle where it doesn't feel just random, something I encourage you to do is think of the action that you're trying to do while you're idling. When you're doing an idle, it's not just kind of moving around and doing random things. A good idle animation should tell you about the character. So, for example, if you have, like, let's say a boxer, their idle animation is probably going to be them standing here. Let me move this so I can do this better. So they're going to stand here, and their idle animation is probably going to be them, like, moving around, maybe doing something like this. And what you can do in the idle is have, like, maybe they bounce around a little bit more, and then they calm down and they're back, and then they bounce. So maybe they're a little bit anxious. Maybe their idle animation has them just kind of sitting here, and then they shake out the hand or like shake their fist because they're just kind of like trying to shake out the stiffness. Something else that they might be able to do is when they're doing their idle, maybe they rub their nose every once in a while. So when you're doing an idle animation, think about who the character is and what they're doing. You don't want them to be doing something really big every time. Like if they're doing this and they wipe their nose and they wipe their nose and they wipe their nose, it's like it may not read well. Like you'd have to have that every so often. But generally a good idle is try to think of a character almost like dancing. Like they're not just standing there being bleh. You kind of want to, like, especially for a fighting pose, you want that feeling like they're eyeing up their character. All right, let's take a look at what you have, and I will screen share this time because I remember last week I kept forgetting. And then Black Monolith will definitely take a look at your line weight as well. Brain. Alrighty. So, get the right window open. Where'd it go? Here we go. All right, so let's screen share here and let's take a look. Yeah, like that works really well. As an idle, that's essentially what you're looking for. Is what an idle animation is. It should be the character breathing. You should just get a nice feel of them taking a breath and just holding a pose. So I think this works perfectly. I think you did a great job on this idle. And like you said, it's kind of boring. An idle should be boring. Like it's an idle. It's idling. When you watch a car race, the part of the car race that isn't exciting is when they're all idling at the starting line. It's not going to be an interesting thing. So what it is the moments between the cool kung fu fighting and all that stuff. So I think this looks great. Shouldn't idle tell a story though? You are telling a story. You're telling a story about how the character's ready, they've got the staff ready, they're holding their pose, they're like, yes, I am alone today. I'll get to how I'm doing after I finish this. You are like a story. When I say telling a story doesn't have to be a 3-part act where your character is like wiping their face and like like doing all this extra stuff and like dusting themselves off all the time. That's just a lot of extra. An idol can literally just be a character standing there, and you can tell a story just by having a character stand there. Are they standing here tough and like doing an idol like this? Are they idling like this? Like, see the difference? Like, between that and this, having a character standing strong and resolute is going to feel different than a character who's like holding the staff with both hands, and it's body language. Exactly, you are telling a story through their body, and that is going to tell you what state they're in when they're fighting. So again, you don't want a character just stop and then just like stand there straight, boring, stiff, unless of course your character just stands there, and like you could hold the staff just down by his side, kind of maybe on the ground, the tip on the ground, and with it behind him, so he's just pointing it down at the ground, and he's just standing there kind of aloof. And then when he starts running, then he goes and he drags the staff behind him. Maybe that is a different stance and a different feel to a character than one who is standing in an idol that is kind of attack ready. So yeah, I think this idol works perfectly. It is just the right amount of not just being dead, having a little bit of breathing and life to it. Something you could do is maybe do like a hand adjustment on the staff, like just adjusting your grip if you want. That's very finessing, doesn't need it. But yeah, I think great work